I'm back. If I could just have your attention for a few minutes, I'd like to bring you up to speed as to exactly where I've been for the last week. And I won't do it in a very bad Norwegian Harold Balder accent this time. And this is actually the second day in a row I've tried to film this video, and I'll show you shortly why. So without harping on too much, let me just summarise. I had a guideline strike because of a video I put up and shared. It wasn't originally my video, however it was the first one that was on YouTube. And YouTube apparently introduced just a week beforehand yet another rule, guideline, that halfway through that video there was like 30 seconds mentioning politics or elections, and it appears that's why I had the guideline strike. Fair enough, I can cop that sweet. I didn't know, and so be it. My problem is there's been about 20 other videos that are still online that are exactly the same. I mean, at least I took the time to upscale it to 1080 res. They're still online, same exact content. They weren't given a strike or had the video taken down as happened with me. They took mine down at around about 6,500 views, which was pretty good. The other videos have had like 300,000 upwards, some of them, which certainly I could have done with the subscribers that I started to pick up because of it. Now, most of you that have been with me for a while would know that most of my content is all my own, 100%. There's only a few controversial videos out of the probably 1,000 across the 4 channels I have. And by the way, just as an emergency backup, those that aren't aware, yes, I have my Steve Mac acting channel. Don't bother really looking at that one. That's just mostly auditions for different jobs, and a lot of them won't make sense to you anyway. The other 2, I will put this one time only down below in the description area. And those channels are How To Hacks and Unexplained, which was how I was able to get one video up, because it wasn't on this Steve Mac channel. Some videos, most videos actually on the other channels, I've moved across to this channel. And over probably the next month, I'll start moving a few more across. And I'm saying this primarily for existing subscribers and new ones that have come to me. Just so you know, I apologise if you commented further on that video that was taken down, because I was unable to respond because it was taken down. So anyway, so basically while I had the 7 days strike, it's actually a 3-month strike, 7 days disabled for the following things: no new uploads, couldn't even make any new community tab posts, nor change thumbnails, especially, and I couldn't live stream either. So there we have that. And back to my beef is, well, backwards and forwards, of course, I appealed it and tried to get support through the Google support team. Basically just kept getting the same email saying that the appeal was, well, I got a 1-line appeal rejected. Anyway, that's what you get for nearly 15 years on YouTube, I suppose. So the actual guideline, I'll show you a screenshot of now. And I'll pause it for 30 seconds so you can have a read. So basically, the emails were saying, yeah, sorry to, yeah, we understand, do you? We understand, but they were sending links to just the community guideline section. I've well and truly read them now, okay? So, the other videos continue to be online, they weren't taken down. YouTube, all I can say is, and as I have said to them, it's either one rule applies to everyone or not. So why was mine taken down? It is a concern because 3 strikes and you're gone. Not just your channel, your account is deleted permanently. and I don't want that, obviously. My advice as well on that topic, and remember, copyright is a separate thing to guidelines, so it wasn't a copyright strike. So my advice to you, because you just don't know anymore, they change and add new guidelines practically every week. You don't know what to put up anymore, apart from things like, you know, my vlog, which was the last proper video I put up. Check that out if you haven't seen it. But anything mildly controversial or against the flow, which you've all seen in recent times, how different social media platforms have just banned certain people, and that's been going on for some time. So freedom of speech, is it really a freedom? Now I understand fully, and I accept platforms like YouTube are privately owned corporations, and it's a privilege, not a right, basically, to be on here. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with revenue sharing. Creators that are monetized like myself only get a tiny amount of revenue from ads, but that's okay. I mean, that's something that I wouldn't have got anyway. And there will never be, in my opinion, despite the fact that there are now several different platforms where you can host videos, nothing will ever match YouTube and Google. I can't see in the foreseeable future how Google would go down. So I'm happy to stay on YouTube. Having said that, when I got the news and saw that there's 20 other videos still up there with the same content as that, I must admit I felt a bit depressed and did question for a few days, is it worth continuing? Because, I mean, aside from some videos that have got a lot of views, and they all build up over time, most of them, the average view, you know, you get 100 or so views, and some of those videos take 50 hours all up for me to construct. Yeah, is it worth it? Look, I've decided I'll soldier on for the moment at least and see how we go. That's all I can do. I mean, first and foremost, it's something I enjoy doing, something that's I spent an awful lot of time doing. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to get the message out there as to why I disappeared and where we're at with that. I don't think it's fair that, yeah, like I say, one rule for all or no rule at all. So my advice to you, if you're a creator, is don't upload or put up videos that you filmed off the TV or videotaped up. That's an old word, isn't it? Or recorded, especially. I mean, copyright's one thing that can be negated, but especially if it mentions anything political, because you likely find yourself getting a strike or a warning at first anyway. So the problem I have in planning to move some of my more obscure videos across to this channel is because of the frequency and the amount of things that can constitute breaches of guidelines. I'm not too sure what I can move anymore. Existing videos on this channel, I hope it doesn't apply retrospectively, it shouldn't. There's things I'd like to move across. No, I'm not so sure. I mean, I've made a few health videos, as people may know, but will that now constitute a guidelines breach because I'm not a medical doctor? I mean, I only talk about things I've experienced personally. It's not actual medical advice, but would that flag it? Or things when you talk about UFOs or extraterrestrial subjects, is that now against the narrative? It's become very difficult. Once upon a time you could talk about anything you want. Now it seems like you have to censor yourself or else you'll get censored. And I don't think that's right. What do you think? Comment below what you think about those matters. So I'll probably do some test uploads on my other channels to see first, but yeah, it's less than ideal. Let me just show you, by the way, why, as much as I didn't want to, it's not worth being lazy making videos, because I'll show you a snippet of almost this time yesterday. I filmed in the same spot, but if you can hear, it's not too bad at the moment. Hear that little high-pitched whistle in the background? I don't mean the weed eater or anything like that. That's something that Australian viewers would certainly be familiar with, called cicadas, which are just a little tiny insect. They're harmless. I mean, I've held many of them in my hands. But after a certain point of, well, at the moment it's overcast today, so they've quietened down a little bit in the last half hour. But in the sunshine they're really loud, and at night time they're really loud. So, which is why I've had to reshoot this video. Hopefully it won't be as bad. I'm using an external mic, whereas yesterday I got a bit lazy and didn't. Show you a bit of that video now. This is a fine example of how you shouldn't really film a video, because it's almost dark here. It's in Brisbane here, it's probably getting close to 7 o'clock at night, so it's fairly dark. I wouldn't normally make a video at night time like this, but it's just the way it is. Something different. So I also showed you around my yard just before night last night, so I'll put that bit in here while I continue to talk to you. This is the second level of my garden. We're almost at night time here in Brisbane. So that's a view of my garden and pool, etc. So that's a look at my garden. I guess you'd say, since I'm not upstairs in Studio A, this would probably be Studio S, Craig. S for stairs. A second level of the stairs towards the pool anyway, or third level. So we'll see how we go. So expect a couple of old videos in the next couple of weeks maybe. I know there's a video I promised to do about zapping, and if you're watching, dude, I'll carefully examine whether or not I think that will be acceptable currently. So for the meantime, signing off, and Steve approves, or do I? I'll see you soon. Bye.